Hi guys, this is my Voyager book review on Melissa Elise TV, so stay tuned. What's up everyone, I'm Melissa Elise and you're watching Melissa Elise TV. Welcome to week 1 of book club for Voyager, book 3 in the Diana Gabaldon Outlander series. We haven't quite set sail yet as there's a lot of backstory that Diana has to give us and Claire about Jamie's life after Culloden, so that's where we pick up. Dragonfly and Amber ended with Claire finding out that Jamie did not die at the Battle of Culloden, and Voyager opens with that revelation from Jamie's perspective. He does think he's dead for about the first page and a half, but then realizes he is in fact alive, and then is pulled off the battlefield by some friends to take shelter in a farmhouse before their subsequent execution. Jamie, of course, is saved this fate by Lord Milton, the older brother of John Grey, the kid who promised to kill Jamie in book 2. For his brother's honor, Milton spares Jamie's life, thinking that he won't survive the trip back to Lollybrook, but he does, and the rest of our week 1 reading takes us through Jamie's life living in a cave, to turning himself in prison at Ardsmuir, where he is reunited with John Grey, and then eventually to the first couple of months living in Hellwater as a groom to Lord Dunsany. So I don't always like to mention the show since that's not necessarily my intention with these reviews, to compare the book to the show, but I will say so far they're pretty spot on with book 3. As far as I can tell, nothing about the flashbacks is out of order. Of course, they did move over parts, the beginning and the end of book 2 into season 3, and now I understand why season 3 felt so long, because they did have a lot to cover between those parts with Bree and Claire and Roger that they moved into season 3. Surprisingly, this book moves rather quickly. Diana is still pretty detailed, but I feel like she's trying to get somewhere in this first half of the book, since chapter 14 puts us at part 4 already. Maybe the parts are smaller, but I think since there's still so much more to cover and the books themselves are getting gradually longer, she's picked up the pacing. It is interesting how this book is structured. Instead of repeating the pattern of Dragonfly and Amber, where the first 5 chapters or so are a setup for the flashbacks, this book takes you a few chapters at a time into Jamie's story post-Culloden, and then periodically checks in with Claire, Roger, and Bree, presumably as they learn those details. Speaking of Brianna, I have to note her 180 attitude change since seeing Geillis go through the Standing Stones. Instead of the total contempt she was showing her mother and even the thought of Jamie, now she's excited and she's encouraging about finding her real father, whereas Roger and Claire are trying to keep a level head about things, being a little skeptical about what they might find. Brianna is like, no, he's out there, we're gonna find him, and this clue is definitely real. Her attitude change actually makes me really excited to see more of her character in the stories to come. Another character I am enjoying seeing more of is John Grey. Major John William Grey is actually far more scheming and unforgiving than I thought he would be, but at the same time just as soft and caring and honorable. There isn't this immediate warm friendship between Grey and Jamie, but they are getting there gradually. As with all the characters, we really only know them in relation to Jamie or Claire, but Diana always tries to give some context or background to the important supporting characters, and she does a good job here of giving just enough insight into Grey's past, his family and relationships, that we understand him a little more, and how he felt after the incident before Prestonpans. I actually do have a favorite passage already. It comes from chapter 12, poignantly titled Sacrifice, where Jamie takes the punishment of 60 lashes for one of his young clansmen at Ardsmuir. Right after, on page 184, Diana flashes back to the first time that Jamie was flogged at 19 at Fort William, and the doctor that cared for him. When the doctor closes the door so that Jamie can cry, I seriously teared up. What an excellent choice to put that excerpt there and then to cut back to Jamie in the cell at Ardsmuir. It just shows his state of mind and the pain and the weight that he was hoping to save this kid. At this point in the book, I'm just really eager to keep reading and see what happens next. So that's it for me this week, but of course I want to hear from you. What do you think John Gray's expectations were when he touched Jamie's hand at dinner at the end of chapter 11? I'm going to take my time answering this one, but leave me your thoughts in the comment section. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you next week. If you enjoyed this video, like and subscribe for more.